Okay, we are recording. This is the final class for our first cohort of you beauties, so your October, November recruits. So I hope it's been worthwhile for all of you. And I'm Sarah Reinecke in Joplin. And we are combining the last two classes actually. So it's going to be PC tips and how to keep them and get them. And there's my children that I locked out. They're gone now. PC tips and a little bit of mindset. And I am going to give you, I'm actually going to post tomorrow. I did a mindset video for a class we did with Karen and Anna last summer. So the beginning of it won't make a whole lot of sense because I'm talking about a couple other leaders. But I think it will be something you guys might want to watch that I did about that it's a marathon, not a sprint. So that's just a YouTube video that I'll post tomorrow that will go a little bit deeper into mindset for you guys. So, and I wonder if we actually should have put mindset at the beginning because I think it goes really well with your why because it's very important to have that specific mindset. In fact, I'm going to talk about that first. One, with your mindset, guys, have a mindset that is confident in our products. I just had this conversation with one of my consultants today because she's had two people message her about the Redefine drying out their skin. She's like, I'm starting to get some concern about the company whenever I'm getting some complaints. And so I've told her, I've done this long enough, guys, that whenever I get someone that's like, these products just don't work for me. I would say probably 5 people have done that to me over the years, and 3 or 4 of them have come back to me as a customer. 2 of them are consultants. Yeah, so typically, so it's hard to take whenever you have first started and you're like, what do you mean they don't work for you? Here's what you know. Here's what's in your mindset. Number 1, we have a 1% return rate for a reason. We do 5-year clinical studies, and if you look at that, 94%, 96%, 93% saw positive results. So the products work. You have to know that in your head, period. So I will tell you that typically whenever you hear these products just don't work for me, it's a money thing. They don't want to tell you I can't afford it anymore, so they will say these products don't work for me. And because that's easier to say, even though it might hurt your feelings, right? But typically, that's the deal because I've had one girl that said, these didn't work for me, and then she begged her mom the next Christmas to buy it for me or for her for Christmas. So I'm like, well, isn't that interesting? So be confident, your mindset in the product. So whenever people say to you, these just don't work for me, like, that's weird because they really, we have 1% return rate or 5-year clinical studies, but it is 96%, 94% success rate. So you may be that crazy 6%. But typically when they have decided that it's not going to work for them, it's not fun. It's like the person who's going to come into your coffee shop and the coffee's too hot or too cold. You're not going to be able to please them. So do what you can to problem solve, but move on to the next. And when I lose a PC like that, which I've lost plenty, I always typically, like I tell my son whenever he strikes out, be mad for one batter and then, cheer on your teammate, and move on and get more. So to me, I lost a consultant this week that I lost a PC because she's signing as a consultant under someone else. Yeah, in a different state. So was that a blow? Yes. Was I mad? For one batter. And then I'm like, got to work. Got on my computer, did double the reach outs, and then I signed a consultant this morning, and I'm signing one tomorrow morning. Like, I got after it. So you have to have the mindset of whenever something like that happens, I'm going to get better. Like, I'm going to do more. Just let it drive you is what I'm saying. Don't be self-conscious about the products because they work, period. Second, about the business, even you guys are pretty new, so you don't have I retired from my job, like you hear people, that happened to me is still crazy, but use our stories, guys, that my friend Sarah, my friend Anna, they retired from teaching. My friend Kara, she was a VP, she was the breadwinner of her house, and she was able to, walk away from her job to do this. Use our stories, use the Redefine Your Future blog, because guys, Kara, Anna, me, Morgan, all of us, we were exactly where you were. We are no different than you. We've just done it longer. And just like I posted on the Facebook page, we just kept swimming. I say that all the time to my team, Dora's mantra, What do you do when times get rough? You just keep swimming. You keep swimming and you keep swimming. And that is the only difference. People told me that when I first started, that the only difference between me and you is that I've just done it longer. Jamie Manning Peterson or Jen Griswold, and it's the truth, guys. So that gives you, for me to know where Maisha is, that tells me where I'm going to be a year from now, period. Right? So that should motivate you. We've just done it longer, the exact same thing you're doing. So, and you also have to keep in mind for your mindset that why not you? And whenever I went to my first convention, I didn't even know why I was there. Maisha talked me into going. I was like, I have not done this business long enough. I shouldn't even be here. I'm not that important. And then I was out on the dance floor, with Sarah Robbins. And, I'm like, they're all normal people. They're regular people. Sarah Robbins was a teacher. And I left the dance floor and I went out to call Jared. I'll never forget it. My green dress and my lanyard that I never took off. And I got made fun of the whole time. But just in case I wanted to have it on, right? And went outside in the hallway and I called Jared and I said, why not me? Why wouldn't this be me? All these girls did it. Why can't I do it? I can. And I said, no one can take this from me. The ball is in my hands. If I work hard with integrity and do it with, give it all I've got, it's mine. I can do this. And he's like, you got it. Let's go. And I was like, just to let you know, I had a total mind shift change of why not me, period. So I hope you girls know that this is possible for you. And to also know that you are worth $10,000 a month or $30,000 a month. You do realize that is possible in this business. I mean, it's being done right now, period. So being a teacher, I had told myself, well, Sarah, you're a public servant. That's your job. Your job is to teach children. You don't need Disney World or manicures. You are here to, teach children grammar and love them. And I loved it. I loved teaching, but I like manicures and I like traveling, too. And I realized that I'm worth that too. I don't have to be stuck at that $40,000 boundary the rest of my life. So when Lance and Maisha came to my house the first time, when I was super crabby, sitting in my yoga pants, trying to get rid of them, Lance said to me, would making $10,000 a month make a big difference for your family? And I'm like, well, let's see. Yes, Lance, I'm a teacher, so that's half my yearly salary. And he said, it's doable. Be coachable and motivated and do it. Give it your all for 3 years and it's doable. And he was a stranger to me, but I believed him. And I have been gunning for that ever since. And this spring, that'll be close to where I'm sitting, which is crazy for a teacher. So I'm telling you, have the mindset that if I can do it, for God's sakes, any of you can. I didn't even wash my face before I went to bed. Never sold a thing. Didn't want to sell a thing. And, a teacher with, nobody around me has money. Well, they do. So just know you can and just keep doing it. So Dora, keep swimming. Okay, so there's my big fat mindset for you. PCs. So here is my PC tips that that have worked very well for me over the last few years. Because when I first started, when I was sitting where you were, my goal was 10 PCs a month, period. 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. And guys, I had a 4-digit paycheck from just PCs. No team. I only recruited 2 my entire first year. 2. So you can make a nice paycheck. Anna makes a nice paycheck. I mean, she has a bajillion PCs. She makes a nice paycheck from that. So when people say, do you have to build a team to make money? No. Long term, it helps for sure. But you can make a nice living from that. Okay, so here I go. Number 1, I don't ever send people to my website. When people message me and say, so do you have a website for that stuff you're selling? I'm always like, oh my gosh, yes. When's a good time we can talk? That's what I say. I never send them to my website because if you just send them there, they're going to go straight to Shop Now. They're not going to go as a PC. They're going to think it's too expensive. They don't know it's 60-day money back guarantee. They don't know that it's going to last 3 or 4 months. They don't know the whole thing comes with it. And so I always say, yes, when can we talk? Some will pester me, please, what's your website? And like, if I do give in and give them my website, then I will say, okay, but if you go there, don't shop and Shop Now, and I can save you a lot of money being my customer. So look around, and then I'll message you, and I'll let you know what your pricing would be going through me. So I always say, don't shop and Shop Now if I do happen to send someone there, if they're relentless about it. Number two, before and afters on Facebook. And I know you know this. You want to be conscious about not doing it every single day all the time. Otherwise, your people are going to delete you and they're going to be so sick and tired of it. But you have to do it enough to where you keep your virtual doors open. So if Walmart and McDonald's still advertises, you should too. You have to have a presence on Facebook. You have to. And Anna Hurl is the queen of branding herself on Facebook. So watch what she does. Don't copy it exactly. But, you know, for instance, yesterday, if you saw me post selfies of me and my 4-year-old in the car, like, oh, what do you do when you're waiting in the pickup line, the parent pickup line? You make silly selfies. Okay, do you understand the ulterior motive of that is I get to be in the parent pickup line, right? So it's not always before and afters. It is ulterior motive. So, you know, I posted a picture of, you know, sitting with my Christmas tree in the background with my blanket, you know, oh, my office today, my boss said I could wear yoga pants. Okay, so a little bit of that, a little bit of before and afters, a little bit of yay, you know, Susie Q for, you know, whatever on our team. Because I'll tell you, people join you because you're having fun, you're successful, you're confident. They're not going to join you just because of before and after pictures. That is one little tiny piece of this whole thing. But you do have to get those before and afters, you know, twice a week at least, post something out there. And also, you know, they're not going to like and comment on everything. You know, then you're going to post a picture of your baby and have 95 likes. You're like, well, where were you on the before and after? But that's totally fine, because if they saw the picture of your baby, they saw the before and after too. So it's fine. Don't worry about it. And also help each other by, you know, not too much income producing activity, but if the more you can like each other's and comment on each other's a little bit, that will bump your post back up in the feed. So that will help you and help them. Okay, here's a private message that I sent a lot of people when I was in your shoes. I said, hey, Susie, how are you? Kids look like they're growing up quick, you know, something personal. Hey, I don't know if you've seen on Facebook, but I'm a rep for Rodan and Fields, but along with teaching full-time and my 3 kids. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. If you've seen on Facebook with the doctors that created Proactive, geez, now I can't even read it. But along with teaching full-time and my 3 kids, I have partnered with the doctors that created Proactive. With no parties and no inventory, I'm able to squeeze it into my nooks and crannies. If I can squeeze it in, anyone can. Anyway, I know you're highly respected, and I know you know a lot of people. So if you hear of anyone griping about their sunspots, wrinkles, rosacea, or acne, would you mind sending them my way? This company grows by word of mouth, but if anyone gets their hands on our products, they'll be straight up addicted. And with 60-day money-back guarantee, what do they have to lose? Thanks in advance, my friend. So I wasn't like, will you buy from me? I was like, hey, if you know anybody. But typically when I send something like that, I would get, well, I've got wrinkles. Well, so-and-so has acne. Oh, well, I can help you. But this was a great message to send people when I first started, because I got a lot of great feedback from that. And you see how I subconsciously, like, without parties and inventory, comma, you see what I did there? I was able to recruit someone from a different team, a different company that did parties, by saying, it's been so great to be able to make an extra income without having parties. She was like, no parties. Let's talk. So kind of slip those little innuendos in there. Don't ever send it in a big fat group message. Bad, bad, bad. And personalize the message to each person. I talk about it, but I also am very careful when I go to, like, my daughter's birthday parties, you know, she gets invited to. I do not bring it up whenever I'm there, because I don't want people to be like, oh God, if we invite Reineke, that's all she's going to talk about. So I'm actually kind of hard to get when it comes to this. I refuse to bring it up, which drives people crazy, and they actually will end up asking me what I'm doing. So when I'm like, oh, I talk to them, ask them questions, the other parents at the party per se. And at some point, someone's going to say, well, how's that going for you? Oh, awesome. Really great. I love it. It's been so nice to be able to make mortgage payments working from home. Oh, and then I change the subject. Like, I don't want people to think if I invite Reineke, it's all she's going to talk to me about, right? So I'm confident about it. Now, not to say that when I'm looking around, I'm like, oh, well, look at Julie over there. Need to reach out to her. I'm thinking in my head, making a mental note. So I might a week later say, hey, Julie, saw you at the birthday party. My gosh, you look so darn skinny. I got to get a little something of that. I realized I never talked to you about Rodan and Fields. I'd love to share with you what I do. Are you available Monday or Wednesday night by chance? Okay, so I might do it a week later. But I try to respect party social time as not work time, if that makes sense. And people respect that I'm not shoving it down their throats. And I'm pleasantly persistent. That's what I call it. So, for instance, I just signed a PC last month, and I looked back and I had 14 unrequited messages. Hey, girl, working today, just checking on you. Da, da, da. I thought of 14 different things to say over a year and a half, I think it was. She reached out to me first, by the way, and I knew she wanted it. I knew she was busy. And so about once a month, hey, just doing a little RNF work today. Would today be a good time to chat? Nothing. Then a month later, and then she finally says to me, oh my gosh, yes, what do I need? I said, reverse enroller. And she goes, great, here's my credit card information. Types it all out to me. I put it all in, and she goes, thank you so much for not forgetting about me. Yes. So here's the thing. People are busy. If you don't hear anything back, that doesn't mean they're mad at you. That means they're busy too. Okay, so the fortune is in the follow-up. If I wouldn't have followed up with her, I wouldn't have got her. And she's already ordered twice since then, right? So the fortune is in the follow-up. You don't want to do it every 2 days. Hey, you don't want to be that girl. But you can say, hey, doing some RNF work today, just thought about you, checking in. That's okay. Unless they've told you flat out no. But here's another little fact for you. I would say 90% of my directs told me no. They were no's. No, thank you, Sarah, and goodbye. And then a year later, 2.5 years later, 6 months later, 8 months later, they became consultants. So even some of your no's, be like, okay, and just think in your mind, you're lost, you'll be sad. And they were. If they could go back and change it and join me whenever I first started, they would have. Because there's some girls that would have been with me from like week 1. So I keep integrity. Like I said, I don't talk about it whenever I'm at parties and things like that. And the follow-up is very important. And auto ship report, keeping your PCs for God's sakes. Make sure you remind them before that auto ship time comes. It's worth your while. You'd rather them delay 30 or 60 days than to get something they don't need and then want to return it. And whenever you message them, it's even better if you can call them and be like, hey, I don't know if you heard about this deal. Did you ever get that macro you wanted? Things like that. The more personal conversation you can have with them, the better. And if you are local to them and they need to return it, do it for them. It costs $6. It's just going to keep them happier and not griping about running in fields. If you're like, hey, leave it on your porch. I'll come get it. Obviously, if you live far away from them, you can't. But if you can, that helps. And the power of 4. I heard this a long time ago. If you get people to order from you 4 times, they're your customer for life. And I think that's really true if I look back at my customers. So if you can keep them happy and order from you 4 times, then they're your customer for life. So really focus on those first 4 if you can. Be a product of the product. You got to, now that you're in this business, when you go to the store, you got to kind of think about it a little bit because people are looking. And so as much as I'm not I'm going to take a selfie and post it on Facebook, I do sometimes because people will say, well, I was looking at your face the other day. And then I get that all the time. So you really have got to be a product of the product. Take care of yourself and whenever you're out in public, because if you're looking all stinky, then they're not going to want to use your skincare, So, and last, be excited, be genuine, be honest, because people respect that. And be genuine and be excited about it. That's what makes it interesting. When people are like, looks like you just have so much fun and you love what you do. I do. Why wouldn't I love what I do? It's fun to help people with their skin, and it's fun to help women build their businesses and empower them. So there's my tips on PCs. I hope that helps. I hope the mindset thing helped as well. And I will post, I said that video, and ignore the very beginning of it because it won't make complete sense because it was from a different class. But the majority, and it's 30 minutes long, I'll warn you now. So find some time whenever you can watch it because it's all about, this is a marathon, not a sprint. So if you are not level 5 in 3 days, you're like, well, forget it. No, you got to build that bank of PCs and those Cs, and it will be worth it. So, oh, look at that sleeping baby. I just want to kiss him. Aw, distracted. Anyway, you guys, thank you for plugging in, and I will be here all week on the Facebook page. So hopefully, if I can help you in any way, if you have any PC questions, I'll post some PC tips as we go along, and hopefully that will help. So have a good week. Good night, ladies. See ya.